Welcome back, everyone, to today's Explainer. Man, do we have a game to talk about today. We're unpacking one of the absolute most nail-biting matches of the tournament so far, that dramatic 1-1 clash between Egypt and Iran at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. If you're a football fan who loves dissecting how tactical structure, crazy momentum swings, and those split-second decisions actually dictate the beautiful game, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to look closely at the defining defensive plays, the absolutely chaotic final minutes, and exactly how two heavyweight teams battled to a total standstill.
To really get what happened here, you kind of have to start with the atmosphere in Seattle. Seriously, what a game. What drama. This wasn't just another standard group stage fixture. No way. This was an emotional roller coaster from the very first whistle to the absolute last. The energy in that stadium was just electric. You could practically feel the desperation and the raw, high-stakes tension unfolding right there on the pitch. The fans, they were living every single pass, every crunching tackle, and every agonizing near miss. And you've got to remember that both of these nations possess incredibly rich, deeply passionate footballing cultures. Their fan bases are massive, and they expect nothing less than absolute, total commitment. But the emotional stakes were pushed even higher here for a very specific reason. This was a totally unprecedented encounter.
Here's the crazy part. Despite decades of rich international football history for both sides, this was literally the very first time Egypt and Iran have ever faced each other in competitive play. Think about that for a second. Zero prior competitive history means absolutely zero established blueprint. Imagine being in those scouting departments just sweating over this one. Both managers had to rely entirely on real-time tactical adjustments instead of looking at historical matchups. It's like solving a giant puzzle live on the world stage.
And that lack of historical precedent? Yeah, it became obvious almost instantly. Egypt clearly decided they were just going to test Iran's backline right out of the gate. And who else to lead that charge but a relentless Mo Salah? He forced immediate, desperate defensive reactions. He wasn't just waiting for the game to come to him, He was actively trying to dismantle their defensive shape right from the opening whistle. Let's break down exactly how that relentless pressure paid off, because it's a perfect action-reaction cycle. Salah brilliantly chests down a really difficult ball in an incredibly tight space. Now, the Iranian defender, Namateh, reacts instantly. He throws his entire body into a massive block. But here's the thing about elite attackers. They don't pause to admire their shots. Salah follows up on the rebound in literal microseconds, putting it away before the defense can even think about resetting. It is just a perfect illustration of capitalizing on razor-thin margins.
But here's what's really interesting. Egypt's early dominance actually exposed some pretty serious tactical defensive lapses for Iran. We started seeing Egyptian attackers like Trez getting these dangerous snapshots off. You had Salah actively scanning for runners like Trezzo. And the recurring theme here? Nobody was marking. Iran's defensive structure was completely bending. Players were getting dragged way out of position, and it was creating these massive, highly dangerous pockets of space in the final third.
But hey, football is a game of momentum, right? And momentum is incredibly fragile. Just when it looked like Egypt might just completely run away with this thing, the entire landscape of the match shifted. We got a critical turning point that completely neutralized Egypt's psychological advantage and injected pure belief right back into the Iranian squad. Yep, a crucial penalty.
Just picture the scene for a second. The tension in Seattle is literally suffocating. Referee Simon Martin blows his whistle and points definitively right to the penalty spot. Iran suddenly has a golden lifeline. Can their star forward, Terry, convert? If you've ever watched your own team take a crucial penalty, you know exactly what this gut-wrenching feeling is like. All the pressure of a historic first meeting, on the biggest World Cup stage, trailing in the match, it all falls squarely on his shoulders in this completely isolated one-on-one battle.
And the outcome? Saved. I mean, absolutely shocking, heart-stopping stuff. The penalty is dramatically saved, keeping the deadlock intact. The Egyptian fans go into absolute delirium, while the Iranian supporters just have to watch their golden opportunity completely evaporate. And tactically, this single action fundamentally altered the reality of the remaining minutes. Iran now had to chase the game even harder, knowing full well they had just left their absolute best chance right there on the table. So what followed was basically a masterclass in how high-stakes pressure completely dissolves tactical discipline. That structured, methodical build-up play we saw earlier, gone. Completely vanished. It was replaced by goalkeeper fumbles and just pure, unadulterated chaos. Desperation totally took over, unleashing these rapid transitions and a frantic energy that turned literally every single ball played into the box into a terrifying prospect for the defense. Let's map out exactly how that chaos materialized into the equalizer, because it happened so fast. First second, a super dangerous in-swinging delivery gets whipped into the box. Second, it's played just a fraction too close to the keeper, forcing a fumble under immense physical pressure. Third second, pure instinct takes over and the ball is frantically scrambled right into the back of the net. In just 3 breathless seconds, a manageable cross turns into a catastrophic defensive breakdown and the desperately needed equalizer for Iran.
So now, the score is tied, the clock is ticking down, and the game just straight up evolves into an absolute dogfight. Both teams were running completely on fumes. If you've ever played, you know that incredibly heavy-legged feeling in the 90th minute. This is the exact moment where strategy goes completely out the window, and it's replaced by nothing but sheer willpower and these heroic body-on-the-line defensive blocks to somehow preserve the draw. And this sheer desperation created a staggering balance of unstoppable attacks versus immovable defenses. Think about it. We saw Salah's early blistering strike brilliantly denied by Namate's block. We saw the penalty lifeline miraculously saved. And then, in a dying moments, you have the Iranian attacker, Rizian, launching a final desperate search forward, only to be shut down by an absolutely phenomenal block from Egyptian defender Jahan Bosch. Every single time an unstoppable force pushed forward, an immovable object was right there to meet it. Ultimately, this incredible tactical war of attrition left us with 2 undeniable truths. 1, 2 teams that gave absolutely everything until they could barely even stand, and 2, a final, unbreakable 1-1 scoreline. I mean, the physical exhaustion on that pitch at the final whistle was just palpable. The tactical lapses, the brilliant saves, the scrambled goals, they all just perfectly canceled each other out. So the crucial question we are left with as we look to the rest of the tournament is this. After an exhausting, absolutely historic draw in Seattle that tested every single facet of their game plans, who is going to adapt their tactics for the next stage? Both Egypt and Iran showed us flashes of absolute brilliance, but also moments of extreme vulnerability. The manager who can sit down, analyze the chaotic data from this match, and truly refine their structure, that's the one who's going to survive the group stage. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes on how these 2 fascinating squads evolve next.